This is Afternoon Live and I'm Simon McCoy. 11 p.m. on Friday, the 29th of March 2019. That's the time and the date Theresa May wants Britain to officially leave the EU. But we're now more than halfway through the Brexit process, and even the most optimistic Brexiteer can see that progress is painfully slow. Today, another warning from the EU. Clarify what you're going to pay in the next 2 weeks, or talks could stall into next year. Here's our political correspondent, Emma Vardy.
It's a one-way journey, says Theresa May, as Brexit talks enter a critical phase. Next week, the EU withdrawal bill comes back to Parliament. And today, the Prime Minister sent a strong signal that the referendum decision cannot be reversed. Theresa May wants to enshrine in law the exact date and time that Britain will leave the European Union. Writing in The Telegraph, she said, "Let no one doubt our determination or question our resolve. Brexit is happening. We will not tolerate attempts from any quarter to use the process of amendments to this bill as a mechanism to try to block the democratic wishes of the British people." But we can still change our minds, says the man who wrote the key EU withdrawal clause. Crossbench peer Lord Kerr has for some time argued that despite triggering Article 50, the UK could still legally reverse the process.
I am keen that the public should know that sending the letter is not an irrevocable act, that the opportunity to change our mind is always there if we wanted to take it. And it is clear to me that if we were to take that opportunity and we were to change our mind, we would be very welcome in the Brussels that we had never left.
The decision taken in 1975 by this country to join the common market has been reversed.
From the moment the BBC declared the result of the referendum on the 23rd of June last year, today at 19 minutes past 1, we were right at the halfway point. So now you can set your watch to Brexit, and that ticking clock can't be ignored, because EU sources have told the UK it has just 2 weeks left to make progress on key withdrawal issues, or risk further delays to any talk about future trade. The EU is united. The UK has to cough up more cash, and it needs to do that soon. The rights of EU citizens and the Northern Irish border are also yet to be resolved. But Brexit Secretary David Davis said this can't be rushed.
There's been a change in pace, I think. But ultimately, this is about delivering results, and that'll depend on the content, not just the speed of the negotiation.
The EU's chief negotiator spoke today of working intensely.
In order to achieve our common objective, that is, to organise an orderly withdrawal on the basis of an agreement, we will also work as intensely as is necessary in the weeks to come in the run-up to the next European Council meeting.
If all goes as currently planned, we really will leave the EU at the 11th hour, 11 p.m. on March the 29th, 2019. Theresa May's message is that there's no going back now.
Well, Emma joins me now from Westminster. Theresa May trying to make it absolutely clear to the Brexiteers in her team, at least, that she is going for this.
Yes, absolutely. This is a marker being put down by Theresa May today to show that the government is determined to see this through. It's that as much as anything else. But what this means is that date, that time, will be put on the front of the EU withdrawal bill. Now, that bill, of course, is being scrutinised in Parliament next week, and it is a huge piece of legislation. It's the big piece of legislation that we need to lump all of the EU law into British law, so that the day after we leave the EU, there isn't this big sort of legal black hole. And there has been some cross-party agreement that the date and time needs to be enshrined in law, so that it is made very clear exactly when we are leaving. So that's the message from Theresa May today. It's all about delivering on the will of the people and hoping to silence any critics who believe that she might be in any danger of backsliding on Brexit. But we heard the comments from Lord Kerr there. He's the man who should really know the legislation inside and out. He knows the nuts and bolts of it because he wrote it. And he's saying, actually, despite the fact we sent that Article 50 letter, there will still be room for, right up until, I suppose, the point we leave, that we could decide to put the brakes on and change our minds. Now, That's gone down badly, with some people saying it's outrage and absurd he would make this kind of intervention. Others will see him as a very credible voice. It will boost the Remain arguments on this. Number 10, meanwhile, well, they're pretty scornful about his intervention, saying actually, politically, there is no way that the government is going to change direction on this.
Emma, thank you very much. Emma Vardy there. Well, let's go to our Ireland correspondent.